Alright. Oh, okay, buddy. You need to watch Spider-Man No Way Home. The newest installment in the Spider-Man trilogy, No Way Home, tops all that came before it as it brings together old and new faces in the Spider-Man universes we've come to know and love. And just in time for the holidays. Man, did they really deliver some fan service with this one. Wait! If you like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. If you don't want to do it for me, do it for him. After the events of Far From Home bleed into this film and Spider-Man's identity impacts not only his life, but his friends and families, he seeks the aid of Doctor Strange to brainwash everyone from knowing who he is. However, his wish goes awry after he tampers with the spell and it tears a hole through space-time, bringing familiar Spider-Man villains Green Goblin and Electro, reprised by Willem Dafoe and Jamie Foxx respectively, and more to the MCU. Would you lay down? Of course, the film stars Tom Holland, who we know as the MCU's Spider-Man, along with Zendaya playing MJ and Jacob Batalon as Spidey's best friend Ned. Joining them is established actor and director Jon Favreau as the late Tony Stark's head of security, Happy Hogan, and Aunt May played by Marissa Tomei. She can Tomei any day. Other villains revealed in the trailers include Alfred Molina's Dr. Octopus from the original Spider-Man films, as well as Sandman and the Lizard, who were played by Thomas Hayden Church and Rhys Ifans in their previous respected films. Of course, we can't forget Benedict Cumberbatch joins the roster as a pivotal influence in the film, as well as J.K. Simmons as the loud and proud J. Jonah Jameson. If y'all haven't paid attention to J.K. Simmons' work, he starred recently in the Amazon Prime show Invincible as Omni-Man. If you haven't seen any of the Marvel series on Disney Plus or Venom Let There Be Carnage, then I'm afraid you're a little behind. Thankfully, I can quickly catch you up to speed on the multiverse that's been explored within the MCU thus far. So, in WandaVision, one of the final scenes shows Wanda exploring the Darkhold, an ancient text that teaches her magic beyond her former capabilities, leading to speculation on whether she'll dredge up a parallel universe in which she can be with her fictitious family with Vision. She's also been confirmed to have knowledge of the multiverse for the Doctor Strange sequel, Multiverse of Madness, coming out soon. A film Scarlet Witch actress Elizabeth Olsen has been confirmed to have a significant role in, along with Cumberbatch's Strange. In Loki, we met He Who Remains, otherwise known as Kang, a being of power within multiple realities who claims to guard the multiverse from deviants. The man who established the TVA to detain those who wish to rewrite history. In the final episode, he reveals to Loki and Sylvie, who were there to kill him, that although he was all-knowing and had seen the end of time, there became a point, quite literally while they were conversing, that the future became no longer predictable. Now, this has also been speculated as having to do with the scene in WandaVision in which she absorbs Agatha's powers, but nothing has been confirmed. In Marvel's animated What If series, the multiverse is something truly overseen by the Watcher, another omniscient being who observes every universe without meddling, until eventually Ultron becomes so powerful that he transcends his own universe after believing he had eliminated all life within his own, jeopardizing all universes overseen by the Watcher. He enlists the help of characters seen throughout the series, including Strange Supreme, a version of Doctor Strange so wrought with guilt over his lover's death that he sought to gain all power imaginable in order to revive her, growing darker but managing to keep his heart in the right place. Some fans of the series and Marvel in general believe this character will be revealed in Multiverse of Madness, but we will have to wait to know for sure. And of course, the 2018 animated film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was all about the multiverse, and if you haven't watched that film by now, what are you doing with your life? I have a freaking poster of it right behind me. Please go watch it. It is one of my favorite films, if not my favorite. As for the sequel to the first Venom film that was released in 2018, earlier this year it was revealed in an end credit scene that Eddie Brock and the newly lovable yet violent alien ended up in the MCU like the other villains, where Venom seemed to have a predetermined hatred towards our friendly neighborhood superhero. Now is where I try to talk about the film without spoiling it. I may make another video, depending on the traction this one receives, that is all about what truly went down in No Way Home. Now let's start with getting the special effects out of the way, because we know they're great. If Marvel's known for anything nowadays, it's how to budget for effects. Speaking of budgeting, this film's got a cast that stands to rival Infinity War and Endgame. Tom Holland has proven time and time again that he kills an American accent, as well as Cumberbatch, both having played Southern American characters in the past. We also know from Infinity War that Holland has proven himself capable of bringing the audience to tears. And let's just say he does it once more in one of his lowest points in the film. Dafoe and Molina do wonderfully, staying true to their original characters, which may well be a result of the writing, but nonetheless puts a smile on my face as someone who was old enough to remember the original Spider-Man films. As for the others, they perform their roles perfectly and true to their characters. I'm not gonna lie, I did have a crush on Zendaya when she was on Disney's Shake It Up, and I'm glad to see her still killing it with this and The Greatest Showman, especially on that red carpet. I mean, look at that freaking dress, that's awesome. The writing itself, as I've noticed for superhero films in general, isn't necessarily perfect, but honestly, that's fine. A majority of fans are here to watch the film to see their favorite villains or actors once again on the big screen, are watching it for the action sequences, or are otherwise just viewing it because it's a spectacle film that's been hyped up for the past year. And it lived up to my expectations and added another treat on top, which I'll mention in the spoiler video if I decide to make it. Some moments in the film seem a little too easy or on the nose, and that's alright with me, as it's standard to Marvel and Feige as a producer. As for director John Watts, despite his list of unfamiliar and under-the-radar productions, he managed to make 2 good Spider-Man films, having directed Spider-Man Homecoming. Though I'm honestly curious how Favreau's hand would have impacted the delivery of some important moments in the film. The scores are typical of Marvel films as well, good at adding emotion or intensity without standing out and becoming recognizable sounds necessarily. Of course, aside from the Avengers theme and the obviously necessary Spider-Man theme song. I'm glad they didn't make it too much about the other characters. They could have easily kept them on the screen constantly to satisfy nostalgia, but they still managed to have the MCU Spider-Man the focal point despite the many distractions. I'm also glad Strange himself isn't hogging the screen, despite him being on the cover alongside Spidey. I think the only complaint I have with the film is really with what Marvel and Disney have been doing with the Spider-Man costume, and they did it with Iron Man 2, making too many suits. Sure, there's still the primary colors and design of the original suit, but they throw in others mainly for what, merchandising, and it just kind of makes me sick. Like, they're not getting enough from ticket sales, current merchandising, and whatever other secondary text products exist. Apart from that, I would rate the film a 9 out of 10. When you have the backing of a multi-billion-dollar company and a solid character background, you're virtually guaranteed a good watch. Look out for a review on Season 2 of The Witcher. I'm really excited for that. Deuces.